Oh, not the old brewing straight away there. So you'd like to see. Oh. Let's see if we figure out this word means first. Let's see. What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? Offering a reproductive isolation, continued mutation, even after population to become reproductively isolated for a period of time. Exchange anymore. There's two more populations on serious species. Right, anyway. Hello. Hello, what's up, bro? Bro, good. Hey, on. How are you? So, I've just been doing a wee bit of looking and a wee bit of digging into transhumanism. And, leading up to the Internet of Things, should I say. So I've got a few wee pages up here and out there, folks. I'm just going to wait for some more people to come in. Hello, Steady Eddie. How are you? You're being systematically attacked on every level. Yeah, 100%. Hey, Ulsterman. How are you? Yeah, Steady Eddie. It's targeted individuals. If you do a wee search on YouTube for targeted individuals, there's you get some videos from 10 years ago where a boy used to hang about. I think it was Lockheed Martin. No. DARPA. No, it was DARPA was doing that. It was DARPA or Lockheed Martin. What they were doing was just using planes to get hover, but they were targeting individuals. A spiritual battle, 100% Steady Eddie. And the problem with it is none of us are spiritually ready. We've all been sort of, fed into this whole path of, you say, the whole energy field that exists around us, they use crystals to do the Reiki healing. It's all based on energy, and energy goes around us as humans. You look into the Schumann resonance, you'll start to learn about a lot about electromagnetic energy, or magnetic fields, or electric fields that all come into play. There's you can't have a magnetic field without an electric field, and the same works vice versa. So basically, a wee bit of transhumanism here. I was talking about bro earlier on. We're having a wee discussion about nanotechnology. And what is it, and where did it come from, and does it exist, basically? And yeah, it's been about for half a century at least. When they were pumping the old movies out, if you go back far enough, the old movies like what was it? It thing. It's just a movie. The Blob thing kept separating, coming together. There was a movie on it. I can't remember. Anyway. Past that stage. Nano. Remember Mork and Mindy? Nano. Planting seeds. Nano. Yeah, well, the nanobots. How did it do with the nanobots? Well, the nanobots were more of a technology that we were working out that, to make these things intelligent. Nanobots, like nano dust. The conversation really came about a lot with geoengineering and solar radiation management. That stuff has been carrying on the sky for a long time. I think this year's no sleep for 42 hours, so going soon. No worries, on. You can drift off listening to my voice, hopefully. So I mean the nano dust. Anyway, so trying to keep it within context here. So you would have the geoengineering, solar radiation management, where they would have spread from plane to block out the sun's rays in an attempt to keep us cool, because they say we're getting warm. They're getting too warm. More than Monday, nano. I never thought to like that. Yeah, nanobots. Well, I mean, the whole idea of the nanobots is to get them inside us. Okay, these nanobots, once they get inside us, they can perform different operations for the operator, the owner of these things that they're putting inside the people. And it's not just us, the animals are getting affected with it too. You look at the vaccines have metal in them, thimerosal or aluminum, just different names that they have in different countries. But then let's take the flu vaccine, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not one of these pharmaceutical geeks, just running off the back of my head, some metal particulates, and they're getting jobbed into, say, even if it's every year, it's still leaving traces in there, because one of the hardest elements for the body to move not elements, metal particulates are one of the hardest things for the body to move, because they're inorganic to the body, and they tend to get stuck in there. But these nanobots, smart dust, we're talking about nanobots, some connecting with, what I said last night in my video. I was talking about how, they don't need to spray from planes to modify the weather. They can do that with their next rod radars. They're just EMF manipulation transmitters back and forth. They already interrupt all this telecommunications, radio communications and stuff, already interfere with the electrical grid that we live in, this realm that we live in. I'll try not to look at the comments, because I'm going to get off the fucking head topic here, but I'm talking about. Go back to, so I was saying in a video last night that the spray to modify us, not the weather, and I pointed out Operation Agent Orange back in the day in Vietnam, and the people are still suffering the repercussions of that operation over their land. They're still having children born with thalidomide and other diseases like that there. I know what I'm talking here. We're talking about transhumanism. So we're talking about transhumanism. I want to have a wee look at the comment, have a bit of a chat with you and get into this, because it can be a good hour here by the time we get through this information that I want to give to you, because it's leading into this whole central bank and digital currency that they're trying to put us in. To talk about this digital ID, Brit ID, Brit. What's the word Brit mean? The word Brit means covenant. Ish means man, covenant, man, British. Didn't always exist. England used to be just called England, and then along came Britain. Any things overnight, I wasn't sure. Online, I was only saying there are firing up 15 houses behind the house, and you said no. I was raking with you, Lily. I was only raking with you last night. Maybe when you put that comment and saying about that, I was just saying, you won't give your location away, in case somebody knows the 15 houses you were talking about. I wasn't saying you get caught, mate. We were just talking back and forth, bouncing. Woe to the man thinks he can overcome nature, but in the last analysis only mocked her. Disease and misfortune are her answer. 100% steady. The laws of nature. Nature looks after itself. The earth will exist for many millennia after we are gone. I mean, we're gone. Drifting off. Georgia Gadestones. You look into Georgia Gadestones. It's fucking many different languages on it. It even says, the population will be brought down to 500,000. Coincidentally, it got attacked and got vandalized. I think it was something happened. I can't remember. Something happened the day before in the political arena in America, and then the next day that came down. Nobody knows where it came from. It's just another one of those things that raved. 50 awesome when they're on the road. At the end of the rabbit hole, you realise that the tea is silent. One other thing about the rabbit hole, Eddie, never go down too far in the rabbit hole to the point that you can't see the light back up where you came from. Very easy to lose your way. And a lot of people have suffered trauma in their life and living depression. I've been in the rabbit hole. I can assure you that, because I've suffered a lot of it myself. With all the traumatic stuff that you're researching, you're learning through the occults, from right back from the fucking Sumerians, or the Anunnaki, the Anu world order. There's so much stuff that goes by, and what you'll find is sometimes it's just always talking about the same thing, only to change the name. Just like call this Belfast City Council. You go back 60 years, it was Belfast City Corporation. And they changed the name to hide the fact that they're just a fucking corporation. Northern Ireland's a corporation. Republic of Ireland is a corporation. They're just trading names, businesses, do business with the rest of the world. And it all comes from their post office master. Right. Anyway, let's get back into transhumanism. What's the whole transhumanism thing? Transhumanism is an intellectual and cultural movement. It's a movement that advocates for the use of science and technology to enhance human physical and cognitive abilities, potentially transforming the human condition. So it says down here, it's talking about the human physical cognitive abilities. It's talking about, you already see the prosthetic limbs that were about for years, and now they're starting to come out with these robotic limbs. If somebody loses an arm, sticking a metal arm on there. So, that's sort of the idea in layman's terms of transhumanism. Let's go on a wee bit here. Definition and core ideas. Transhumanism explores the idea that humans can and should use emerging technologies to overcome biological limitations such as aging, disease, and cognitive constraints. So, something that helps with the aging is a proper diet, a good diet. Something that helps with diseases is a good diet. Cognitive constraints, well, that comes with this ease, doesn't it? Its proponents argue that technological advancement through biotechnology, artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, which is what we're going to get to, the nano stuff, and cybernetics can improve health, extend lifespans, and augment mental and physical capacities. So what it's trying to say, you could fix you got some schizo stuff going on there, and it could help you out. What they're going to do is they're going to sell this nanotechnology as a mechanism for helping with your diseases. We'll stick this stuff in you, it'll go straight to that point, and it'll eliminate that disease. But like anything else, pharmaceutical drugs and that, it'll give you a tablet to fix one thing, it creates a problem somewhere else. Central to transhumanism is the concept of enhancement beyond the current human state. Right? There's a movie out there who used to pop a pill and you just bust into limelight. You start popping out of your five senses, hitting 6th and 7th rank. Where humans evolve into forms that surpass current biological norms. So it's sort of transhumanism, selling us into the whole superhuman. You can be superhuman. They're trying to tell you that you're a god. You're not God. You're one of God's children. You're one of the real Israelites. From the tribe of Israel. So where were transhumanism? Key goals and technologies. Transhumanists. Remember, this is a movement. So who would be funding movements like this? We would have your Bill Gates, you have your Elon Musk, the boy who wants to put a chip in your fucking brain. And the other boy, Bill Gates, he's the one's fucking filling these vaccines. So they're going to put these microchips into these vaccines. They're going to put them in you. They already tested them out on us during COVID. Talking to you earlier about that song, you remember? That's the outcome of their experiment with these Generation 1 nanobots, let's say. Well, maybe Generation 2, because say Generation 1 would have been going in with the normal vaccines. Life extension through these key goals and technologies through this transhumanism movement. Life extension, developing medical and genetic therapies to significantly prolong healthy human life and delay aging. Again, healthy diet, plenty of water, because you need to drink water to flush, not your tap water. Get yourself a distiller, leave it with 0 parts per million, gives you pure water. You may want to throw something in it there to waken it up, bring it to life. Some people complain it's dead water, but dandelions have natural electrolytes in them, so you whack some dandelions into your pure water, brings them to life again, or just shake them and put your intent into them. Cognitive enhancement, using technologies like brain-computer interfaces, Skynet, remember Skynet? In the Terminator, not that chip. This is what they're talking about, computer interfaces. Nootropics, or AI-assisted cognition, to enhance memory, intelligence, and decision making. So what they're trying to say is that, these wee nanobots and stuff, when you start to merge yourself into the Internet of Things, which is the transhumanism, your bio-digital print, should we call it. Interfaces, nootropics, or AI-assisted cognition to enhance memory, intelligence, and decision-making. Right? So basically, all the fucking vaccines that give us all these years have made it hard for us to make decision-making. Watching your television, that television. It's all the MK Ultra tactics. So when you're sitting watching TV, it's blind. Brain doesn't work, just watching TV. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about here. Try and improve your decision, well, not decision making so much. Genetic modifications, improving human strength, speed, sensory capabilities, or resilience through prosthetics, exoskeletons, and or genetic modifications. That's what I was talking about earlier on, the prosthetics and exoskeletons. The exoskeletons being the robotic arms and legs. Integration with AI and machines. Exploring ways humans can merge with artificial intelligence to enhance intellectual and sensory abilities. I know where this is going. You just start to catch on here with all this stuff. A lot of people can use merge with the human interface. That's all heading down that microchip, isn't it? Overcoming limitations, addressing mortality, physical vulnerabilities, and cognitive constraints through technological means. Ethical and societal considerations. Transhumanism raises complex ethical and philosophical questions. Equity and access. Who will have access to enhancements? Only the wealthy or society at large? There's a movie come out there fucking years ago. You remember the black guy with a fucking suit. So Whittaker, Forrest Whittaker, some more boy. Can't remember his name, but Repo Man it was called. I'm not got back, so I'm looking at this because I can't see your comments. The movie was called Repo Man. And what did they do? They was making these, we call them exoskeleton body parts. You could have got a heart made, you could have got a fucking lung made. And what they done was when they put this in your body, they would have took it out of your universal credit. So if you didn't have enough in your universal credit and you run out of rent of your heart or your pacemaker will make it more understandable. So you have a pacemaker and start charging you rent for it, and it's all coming out of your universal central bank digital currency. Yeah, you know what I'm getting at. And you don't have no credits in your account, and you don't have credits to pay the rent for that fucking heart. Well, the whole idea behind the repo man is you didn't have your credits, and you were just living off free time, living borrowed time, basically, debt. The repo man would have came along, killed you, took the part back, cleaned it, rented it out to somebody else. So that's the whole idea of what we're talking about here with the transhumanism. So yeah, who will have the wealthy? Or society at large. And another thing I'll point out about the wealthy, they don't need these prosthetic limbs. They don't. What they can do, they can just clone. They can just clone themselves. Have a wee fucking bunker underground somewhere, Area 51 maybe, where they keep all their clones. Getting a fucking bad pancreas or something, and drinking too much coffee. No, it's all right. We'll get your clone here. Cut the fucking pancreas out of the clone and whack it in to the celebrity, whatever it may be. Or maybe they just transfer the conscience from the sick body into the fresh body. Strange. But they're trying to merge your consciousness with the whole robotic world. That's what they're trying to do. It's just like you put these pods on and you control the robots. These drones, no more need for sticks. You just fucking think it right. Blow up building up. Yeah. Identity and humanity. How will profound enhancements affect human identity, relationships, and societal norms? How is this going to affect everybody? Just going to go back to like the Egyptian days? Just action spoke louder than words, so to speak. Risk and safety. Advanced technologies, especially artificial superintelligence or genetic modification, may carry unforeseen risks. Moral responsibility. Debates focus on whether humans have a moral duty to enhance themselves, as if there's not enough fucking egos knocking about, on future generations. So, when we're talking about enhancing themselves, this is how it's going to be sold to the public. Make yourself super smart, make yourself super fast, run, throw a javelin, spear, further, and spear choppers out there. That's the kind of thing I'm going. So that's the bit of transhumanism. That's the introduction of what I've explained to you. We want to show you bits. This is something you can research yourself. It was the bros researching it, and they had a chat with me earlier. L5 Society. Let's give it just because I can't just put it in there. So we'll just have a wee quick look, see what L5 or I5 was that, bro. The L5 Society was a pro-space advocacy organization founded in 1975 to promote large-scale human space colonization at Earth, Moon, Lagrange points based on the ideas of physicist Gerard K. O'Neill, later merging to form the National Space Society. Well, what did Trump bring on? We've got Space Force with Trump, but this one here is the National Space Society. Hold on, let us see. One more in L5. I'll just let you see them. I can just so you know the pages there and you can go and have a look yourself. So where we go, right? So you can basically see what I'm looking at here. Let's add there. You're typing it in there. And so let's have a look at it. Fucking lost page. New page. There we go. Yeah, so that's the introduction I give you all through there. The L5 Society, Pro Space Advocacy Organization, founded in 1975. It was around about, it was just after Werner von Braun fucked the reins of NASA. Founding and purpose. The L5 Society was established in 1975 by Carl and Nano. This will be good for you, Shifty Song, because we're having a talk about that I3 Atlanta. Was it we're talking about earlier? All the day with this massive spaceship they're trying to tell us are coming here. Arizona to advance Gerard K. O'Neill's vision of rotating space habitats. Now there's a movie that'll come back and I was talking about rotating space habitats. It was made there about 10 fucking years ago. And it was just like a big spaceship in the sky. It was just a big donut, just a big round donut in the sky. It just hovered around the sky, and everybody down in the Earth lived in the radiation zones on the Earth. And so rotating space habitats. 1986 L5 Society, which had grown to about 10,000 members, merged with the 25,000 member National Space Institute to form the present day National Space Agency. Such as the Stanford Torus and O'Neill cylinders. The Torus cylinders, not big, I'm not getting into it. Designed to support human life with artificial gravity and vast livable areas. The organization took its name from the L4 and L5 Lagrangian points in the Earth. Lagrangian in the Earth Moon system. Locations of stable gravitational equilibrium balance where large habitats could remain in orbit without constant propulsion. And so basically, just without having to propel, they would rather just hover. It's cheaper, obviously. Early members were inspired by O'Neill's 1974 paper, The Colonization of Space, and the 1975 Princeton Conference of Space Manufacturing Facilities, which integrated O'Neill's habitat ideas with Peter Glazer's solar power satellite concept. You see fucking satellite, those things up there, the balloons, satellite balloons. The society initially promoted awareness, advocacy, and research on space colonization, closed ecosystems, and in-orbit manufacturing. That wee one there, closed ecosystems. We're fucking living in one. Anyway, that was just an extra wee one at the bro through, and therefore to have a look into. We can go back to that there. What else was I looking to show? Close that one. Yeah, society Earth technology, that's all here. Put on a post. Also, I'm select you. And not on X to say there. That's good. Apollo 11 didn't even have door handles. Always gets the space cadets going. It's a bit of a wind up for him. That's why sometimes just try to leave it out in the conversations. In the videos lately, but it was flat out at it for fucking 10 years. No point, you can't argue with stupid, bro. What else did I want to show you? Right, who is behind this stuff? Alright, Jeffrey was first, or Eric came first. He was back in the 75. So I'm not sure on all these screen movies. How about we look through that there? Remember what we're talking about here, folks. Nanobots, transhumanism. And so this guy here, K. Eric Drexler is an American engineer and visionary scientist widely recognized as the founding figure of molecular nanotechnology, whose work has reshaped concepts of atomically precise manufacturing and its potential applications. Biography and background. Drexler was born April 25th, 55 in the United States. He began exploring the concept of molecular machines and nanotechnology in the late 1970s, inspired by the visionary ideas of physicist Richard Feynman. Drexler holds degrees in engineering and has spent much of his career researching the potential of molecular manufacturing. Now, molecular, tiny things, molecule scale. So these things, you can't even be seen. You're talking about a millionth of a fucking nanometer. Contributions to nanotechnology. Drexler is best known for introducing and formalizing molecular nanotechnology, MNT, which involves precisely positioning individual atoms to create complex structures and functional systems. Individual atoms, folks. Individual atoms. Individual atoms. Your body's made up of atoms, is it not? Well, everything is made up of atoms, is it not? His pioneering work proposed that molecular machines could construct objects from the bottom up, effectively enabling atomically precise manufacturing. Notably, in 1986, he published his seminal book, The Engines of Creation. Oh, hang on. I'm not sharing the screen here. I'm just talking away. Didn't share it at all. Screen's black. It's still black. I don't usually see anything there. Fuck, I'll just read it out to you anyway. It shows that it's showing up for me. Oh, stop that. It must be messing it up. Right, we got the screen back now. I'll just read them out for you, folks. Good now, it's all back, right? Dead on. And so, where was it? Eric Drexler. Yeah, Drexler. It's not letting me open the fucking page. Must have closed it. Fucking page has disappeared on it. That has. Right, well, he's got the point, Eric Drexler. I'll get that up again. Just to give you a bit more of an introduction, because it wasn't, well, it didn't work. Drexler. Yeah. I'm assuming if we got the screen up now. I think you just can see the screen. Yeah, so, Eric Drexler. I know it's off the screen. We'll get down to biography, but yeah. So, 1986, published Engines and Creation, the coming era of nanotechnology. Some old books were down there. He later followed up with Nanosystems, Molecular Machinery, Manufacturing and Computation in 1992, where he presented detailed technical analysis of molecular machines, including theoretical principles for designing nanoscale robots on self-assembling systems. Nanoscale robots, folks, now, just watch fucking Transformers. They had the big robots and then they had the wee tiny ones. We nanoscale robots. What they're actually talking about here is we nanobots. It'd be the size of a fucking flea. These things just hop about, Nanoscale robots and self-assembling systems. Yeah, so that there was like we were seeing some of Transformers, or Terminator. What's the Terminator movie? Didn't you? It had the Skynet, the microchip, that whole thing, and it's getting turned on in 2028. Apparently in the movie. So yeah, that's what that. Just lost train of thought there. Molecular machine, theoretical principle of designing nanoscale robots and self-assembling systems. Yeah, the work bridged the conceptual nanotechnology of scientific modeling, defining a framework for molecular engineering. So what they're talking about is, you're making up wee fucking nanobots here to come work. We molecular engineers. We molecular engineers, so these things basically to get into your system that way, or whatever they're fucking spraying from them planes up there. Put it into your system that way. And what these things could actually do, would be like wee sensors, or wee machines just go in and switch your valves off, block your valves, impacting debate. Leave it after that. Drexler's ideas have a profound influence on scientific discourse about future technologies. Some agree, some don't. Inspiring research in nanomedicine, miniaturized computational devices, and advanced materials. However, some aspects of his vision, especially self-replicating nanobots, self-replicating, what they expect these things to do once they get inside, it'll start using your proteins and start replicating themselves. You know the way parasites do. You can fucking much away your cells, self-replicate. So they're talking about these nanobots. You're talking about creating these wee miniature fucking nanobots. You wouldn't even be able to see that self-replicate. Self-replicate? No. That sounds nasty. Have been controversial and led to ethical debates about safety, feasibility, and societal implications. Despite the debate, Drexler's work remains foundational in framing nanotechnology as a potentially transformative field. So yeah, everything. Agenda 2030, folks. Central banking, digital currency, biodigital ID. Yeah, that is what's coming. And so let's close out. See what these are talking about, because no doubt these aren't talking about any of this nanotechnology stuff. Yeah, carry on, Smith. Well, that's a sort of idea of transhumanism. You know, yeah, I used to love watching the Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. Out there going Cyborg. The Cyborg was a special one. So all these things were programming into us, folks. You know, I'm in the 80s kid, growing up in the 80s, and all these movies were like, you know, what else did you have? Short Circuit, you'd Cyborg, you'd RoboCop, and all these things were implanting in our minds that this, you know, fucking everybody loved RoboCop. He was just walking about there. All he had was the face and the brain, the mind of Murphy. And they just put it in with a robot. There's another movie. I don't know what I'll call it. But Chappie, I think it was a movie made in New Zealand. It was about just some fucking young Indian lad, and he made these robots, and what they were doing was trying to put the consciousness, the real trap consciousness into a computer and put it into a robot. Was the sort of idea. But this robot that they were trying it on, testing it on, actually just became fully aware, fully awake, and fully consciousness. Like, whoa, what's going on here? So there's the kind of things, the kind of movies over all these years that plant these seeds in our head. That would be a good thing. Yeah, RoboCop sounds cool. Well, listen, give it 5 years, the fuckers are going to be walking about the streets, going to be dogs pointing guns at you. It's already happening in China. They're already testing them out over in Europe. And these invaders are all going nuts. I forget, how does it work, that stuff? Put my head away off. I gotta be paranoid as fuck. You're talking about the nanobots and stuff that's coming on here. Stuff we're playing. About you above and beyond. Good to see you. Jake. Good to see you, Jake. You know, that's all these agendas that's going on. That's the whole thing. This smart dust, as the bro says, and the nanotechnology, nanobots. You know, what's scary about it? You know, what's to me the scary thing about it is these things will be able to just fucking fly into your body and shut you down. You know, when they have enough of these, like, we'll say sensors, nanobots, sensors. You know, they're getting spread all over us, and they're going to spread everywhere on their own molecular scale. So everything that's out in the open is going to be covered with these tiny nanobot sensors, right? Molecular scale sensors. And every blade of grass will have sensors. Look at it that way. And anywhere you go, travel, there'll be sensors everywhere, and they'll all be recording. And you will have the sensors in you. That'll be your biodigital marker. So when you're walking about, all these sensors will just identify you right away. And telling you folks, they won't even need facial recognition cameras. Come in the future. Well, I'm not telling lies. The next one I'm going to show you about here, our boy Jeffrey. He tried to carry on with Drexler's work, and he got shut down. Says it was a load of shit. Yeah, it's all conspiracy, all that nanobot, nanomolecular, regeneration, fucking nanobot things. It's all conspiracy. That's what they try to say. And they listen to me, the WEF, the EU, all these people all know about this. They all know how this stuff works because they're sitting up here. They're like the Lex Luthors of the Superman movies. They're the ones that are carrying out all these tests and experiments. We're just the wee, the goyim, or the infidels, whatever you want to call us. Fuck, like, trust me, mate. Trust me, I drove myself mad for years. Over a decade, I've been sitting looking at this here stuff, and they are bro, are above me 20 years. Using a video where, what's your channel, bro? Expose the New World Order. Go back, watch some videos 15, 20 years ago, the bro's talking about these fake birds and all. Fake bugs. Listen, everything's possible. Look, to show you on TV, it's more likely possible in the real world. She's up in bed carrying on. She's got the bed there. She's probably up in bed watching this video. She's going to pop in and say hello. See if I get back into the room. I can't track clear. 100%, bro. That's what I was saying. You can maybe post it in the comment section there if you want. Or no, not yet. Leave it. Leave the video's over. Post it in tomorrow. Let them see your channel. So me and the bro folks here at Icon Carver about 15 years ago, we hooked up. What it would do, we just started going and sitting at the roundabout bridge there up by Duncrew. And used to just sit and watch things, observe. Done a lot of observing over the years. Came to a lot of more tuned in conclusions. I mean, all this stuff that we're telling, I'm trying to explain to you here in this video. We were talking about it 10 years ago, thinking, how mad's that? How mad? And we're just looking at each other's mad. And we're actually literally on the cusp of this stuff. They've already, the COVID years, that was the test. It was to get the first one, that's to get the generation 2. The first one was the flu vaccines, all the RMMRs and all those stuff. Maybe that was just the first generation of nanobots getting put into us, trying to turn us into some kind of metallurgy structure, metallic structure. Metallurgy is the explanation. It would be like Terminator and Terminator Genesis. 2028 is the year that they turn Skynet on. So, got 3 years left. 3 years. Yeah. Think about that's hanging. It's just, what are we going to do? Well, what are we going to do between now and then? How are we going to manage this? Then we'll sort this out. You want to go and watch the movie They Live. It shows you exactly what to do at the end of it, and go straight to a media building up their roof and cuts down the satellite. And all the lizards got revealed. Swine flu for the swines and bird flu for the chicks. Well, that's another thing. I mean, I was talking about the generations, like everybody's talking about 5G. It's just that's what you call it, 5G. That's 5th generation. So you go way back to that 1st generation, or internet phones, and you get phosphor and all that crap on. Nokia 10, you get fucking 10 on it. So when you go way back in, yeah, mad cow's disease, swine flu, bird flu, fucking all these things came about when there was upgrades. 1G, 2G, 5G. What they're actually doing is upgrading the electrification of the earth that we live in. It's the rapid dash. The earth that we live in is just, it's an electromagnetic fucking realm, folks. What other way can I explain it to you? We live in a realm. You can pull electricity out of thin air. You got solar panels. Is that it? If you look into the agriculture, where they're putting copper wires, copper rods in the ground into their grows, where they're growing vegetables and growing plants and stuff. It's just tapping into the ether, and it's boosting the energy of the plant, regardless of the nitrates that it's getting fed. Everyone's BPM is uploaded to the cloud through the towers, which I believe will be downloaded into their new robots. I have an old phone, mate, and I haven't uploaded it in like 6 years. It cracks me up sometimes. They've downloaded into the new robots. Yes, well, on that there, above and beyond the movie that I was talking about 5 minutes ago, where Chappie. You want to go and have a look at that? Any of you go and have a look at it. Chappie, it's called. It explains exactly what above and beyond's just mentioned there. Transferring consciousness from the mind. It's fucking impossible. You know, if anybody knows what this thing is in here, it's not you. You're not the mind. You need to know that. It's not you. You need to know who you are. But they want to destroy this. They want to destroy the man. They want to make this the abomination. So they desolate it. Vibrations and frequencies. Yeah, Jake McDee, vibrations and frequencies. Well, Tesla said it, 369, the magical numbers. I'll think about the physical world, think of everything. Frequency, vibration. In the beginning, there was the created all. Powers and principalities. Yeah, that's what we're up against here. Up against the egos and principalities of those ideologies from those egos. Listen, you go back far enough into history, it wasn't such a thing, never really a thing, that you need to go back into the real kickoff of the monopolization of the Industrial Revolution, which was the Carnegie, the Steel, and Rockefeller with the oils, and then you had the Vindenberg with all the trains, and J.P. Morgan, he came along after and just bought them all out. Says, right, just give me, apart from the Rockefeller, he bought Carnegie out, and the train boy, Vindenberg, and Rockefeller was like, nah. A couple of decades later, four of the richest men on the earth died on the Titanic. Chappie, Chappy, CHA is in Chappie. Who's that chap? All right, that chap, good say. You need the full armor of God. Yeah, it's in Romans, carry on. But before you put that armor of God in, you have to strip away all the old. Do away with all that old yourself. You better repent, and you have to redress yourself. You're right back to the start, and you repent. You have to put your socks on again. You have to dress up before you put the armor on. It's like a policeman. Before he puts his armor on, his vest on, he has to put his socks on. Different dimensions, but it's really spiritual realms. Well, yeah, I would say talk about the seven realms, the seven planes of existence above our heads. What plane are we on? Well, it depends. What dimension level are you thinking on? Can you see past all the bullshit? Have you pulled yourself out of the left brain programming? Doesn't work. That's why I was talking about TV, the MK Ultra. They show you in the old movies when they're trying to torture people and program things into their mind. They actually show you in the movies. I can't remember the name of the movie. I think it was another Sean Claude Van Damme. Cyborg. Made in Cyborg. They don't all sit down and they're just programming their histories. They've done it in RoboCop too. They had to reprogram his man. Do whatever the fuck we're talking about there. I can't remember. The different dimensions. Yeah, what sort of frequency, what altitude, frequency are you living on in your dimensional world? How many dimensions is there? Well, not even tell us that anyway. Say there's 7, say there's 9. How many wandering stars is there? And they all affect our frequencies, our vibrations, our moods. It's like full moon, you turn into a lunatic. Oh. Seats a bit sore. Yeah, above and beyond 100% there. We're feeling that there. That's what Chappie explains that very well. You're talking about. Rockefeller was a bad man. Struck some oil. I think he actually may have done somebody in. Stole the oil. He built a church in Milan. Said it was his. Or postmaster. Post office. Oh, I fucking sent an notice off the director of the PPS there yesterday. Saturday or yesterday. So I sent an notice off to him there. See if I'm going to reply of him. Very unlikely. I seen a video. McDonald's was trying to paste in adverts for the brain while we sleep. And I try and pick up on that there video. Seen a video of McDonald McIntyre. Down adverts for the being way we sleep. Well, it's funny because YouTube does wee things like that there, and you can sit and listen to Bible verses and stuff like that there. Wee sort of symphonic mood, and the right hertz, and there's Schumann, not the Schumann resonance, but human resonance. You think we can beat this digital ID? It doesn't matter. It's a central bank and digital currency that they want. You know, it's they want to shut out cash because it does away with the free man. I know people think a free man doesn't exist, but when you're born, you're a free baby, aren't you? And when you grow up, you become a free man, regardless of what title they hit you with, whether it be your surname or your Mister or your fucking. It's the Mister. You get a letter that says Mister or Mrs. And you think about the Mister man, they'll just completely take a fucking piss out of humanity, like out of, Mister and Mrs. man. It's used, it's the civilization, all those cartoons, Mister and Mrs. Yeah. Use all the Mister and Mrs. Mad. Mr. Humpy, Mr. Lumpy. That's corn. Do not be conformed to the pattern of this world, but be transformed. Yeah, be transformed in the Holy Spirit. You need to understand there's more to come about from this. Yeah, it's all about going back. It's all about going back. I mean, on Facebook, I've been planting seeds every day. I think anybody's actually noticed it every morning. Planting memories, yeah. Planting memories, yes, that's it. Planting memories in the head, the whole MK Ultra thing. That's what it was in the RoboCop thing that they're doing with Agent Murphy when they wanted to turn him into a robot, planting memories into his head. What was the other one? There was one that took the memories away and then people start remembering. Remember that one, bro? Gee, someone has to play the evil ones. It must be heavy work on their souls. Souls, yeah, well, it's a heavy burden on the soul. What is it to say? You have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. Many good souls out there that sees evil being unleashed all around them on a daily basis. And, it's hard for the good souls to take in, love thy neighbor, show mercy, peace, love, all that. Sometimes it's very hard, especially for some men with hot past like me. Yeah, well, it's been there for years, Lily. It's across the road from Queen's University, and I used to do it 25 years ago. Had my own office in the Students' Union. It's probably sick of hearing that too. But yeah, a bit of a security history in there. Hey, I'm not well, but I would rather the Lord heal me than other spiritual gods. Well, the Lord, define the Lord. The word Lord sounds like Lord. You're to ascend, you're not to lower. Just a thought. Carry on, Smith. You know where it lays. It's all within. You see them carry on. Very good, very good. Yeah, so that's the seeds I plant. It don't have to be. Listen, when it comes to the whole religious thing in our conversation, me and the bro were having, legion. There's a legion. We were just talking about legions, and then you have a legion. When you go back into history and they talk about the Medianites, the Edomites. You go back far enough into that there, there were legions. So it's like a civilization started up with a culture, cultures. I'm talking these things like cultures, and what is a culture? Culture of bacteria. You have culture of bacteria, don't you? Have culture of germs, cultured, manufactured, cultured. Just like the vaccines, cultured. mRNA 5. That's the one I was talking about last night. That's the ones bovine, monkey, cell and cultures that they're putting into the vaccines, to keep the nanobot viruses alive. It's all for education purposes. Hello, Durga. Hope you're all good. Muhammad Jihad Durga Herga. I fucking feel like I'm in a computer game, lady. Honestly, listen, During COVID, I'd give it all out there for years. I was talking about the nanobots and what they're putting into our bodies, and just trying to remind everybody is need to turn to God, because God will steer you right. God kept his children away from those vaccines, in my personal opinion. Now, I was never calm when I played computer games. I was the kind of kid, three controllers and all the screens, bad temper. ODC is what I have: oppressive defiant disorder. Don't like being oppressed. That's what they call it, the medical term for it. I've learned to contain myself a lot lately. Being very calm. A couple of babies. Oh, you have to be calm. I'd probably be sitting rotting in jail by now if it wasn't. Depends on your heart what you're using it for, but to be honest, if you're a Christian with the Holy Spirit, I would rely on him and reflexology, but that opinion, but yours may be different. Well, it kind of boils down to your own faith. Carry on, and what is it? What does your faith rely on? What is my faith? My faith just relies on, and I know that there's a heavenly Father that dwells within me. It doesn't make me God, or I'm not a god. When we talk about all these deities, there's fucking 200 countries and many deities over all these countries. I think you could stretch it out to something like 60 deities. Don't know the names of them all. They'll ring a few off to you, but some of them have just had their names changed. You go back to their father Cyrus, and then you'll have Baal, you'll have Moloch. It's very confusing. And you have the Egyptians that had three. They had Horus, he rose, Ra, Set. So there are three sun gods as well, but that's all the whole paganism, sun worship, Freemason stuff. The eye and that big eye, what does that eye reference? The ball seeing eye. Yeah, Buckfast, hope you're good, man. Hope you're good. But yeah, Carrie, back to your heart. If you look at it like this here, if you're going to repent, that's just, so Jesus is the heart. Jesus showed the way. The heart part of the waters, your two ventricles that come out, your heart split at both sides, it's split in the waters. That's a lot of esoteric knowledge that came with the likes of Santos Bonacci. Santos Bonacci done a lot on the whole syncretism between the stars, or the Bible and the stars, and the human body. But what they have taught us, the paganism cultures, is it's exoteric. It's all esoteric faith. Faith in the personification of the stars. It's not the faith that dwells within. They're the faith that you should be given. But when your heart carry on and submit, it's all about submission. It's all about submission. It's all. You're not of your mind. You're not your mind. You're not. This isn't the soul. You are soul. You're a being. You're just a being of light, traveling about in this meat parcel and experiencing this physical reality for the Heavenly Father. Without your eyes, the Heavenly Father, the source, sees nothing, learns nothing of what we're doing. And every one of our eyes is showing God what we're doing. And he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. It refers to that Bible as he, so a reference it as he, it's the feminine. I'm not going to mess that R word, the whole feminine. Fucking slipping off there, drifting into one head, forgot where I was. I just completely forgot what I was talking about, Lily, so I don't know what's sitting. Grand, the one that got shut off, Muslim, Father says, read, that's enough, and that's what I was saying, God sees it all, it's common, it's done away with a water time, we're all getting burnt there, but not all of us. Those that don't repent, those that, follow the false prophets, the likes of Muhammad, Ishtar, Shiva, many, many, many deities, diet, eyes, idols, worship false idols, idols. What's an idol? Idol, doll. Dolls are fake. Normally you come up with Bob. I don't know. I'll be honest, I was thinking of just, down the legs. I need to get myself back in gear here. work and stuff sort of took my whole mind off things. Distractions here, distractions there, trying to keep my eye on the game. It seems to be happening. I keep myself right. As always, saying things when I shouldn't, save the trouble. Sure does, Stevie. I am 100% correct. Submitting. It's all about your submitting. I put all my faith in the Heavenly Father. That's just where I am. So what I'm done with, I'm done with. I've submitted, and the Father's to do as He pleases with. My free will is on His instructions. Your life better, so when you come back, it will be better. You are ancestors, pagan's view. Yeah, I mean, I used to say to myself, thinking over the last sort of 15 years, I used to say that stuff, I'm going to come back again. And I just go back into that light there again. You go to that light and boom, then you're born again. You're in the another white light or some big new Indian surgeon looking over you and pulling you out of your mouth. That's where we're going to now. And then your memory gets wiped. Wipe your memory, like Men in Black, the big white light. Now Will Smith gives him this whole new fucking plan of what happened through their day. You went and had a cup of coffee, a couple of smokes, and you've done your thing. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you a wee video I have here, just sitting for you, ready to watch anyway, folks. It's the dude. Let's go back where we had the right Drexler. I showed you the transhumanism thing. I also spoke about the other boy in the space operations. Where was that? That's Hendrik Sloan. Hendrik Sloan, he was a girl. So a bit of a better explanation. I'm going to find this video for you. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. And you'll see this video. Now, what's going to happen is, we'll say it. This is for educational purposes, because the video will probably get copyrighted because I'm going to do this. But stop it. Don't sit in there. Don't sit up crack. Don't curve it. Turn it off or switch it off. Mem comes from my water. That's right. Yeah. And Ori means light. Yeah. Mem, Ori. Mem, Ori. As Dory was coming into my head there, I'm thinking, Dory, what would Dory do? What would Dory think? No memory. Remember Dory? Memory. If Ori means memory, Dory, what was the D mean in Dory? Because Ori means memory, but Dory had no memory. Does D mean lack of? D memory, no memory. Eyes to see and ears to hear. Carry on. Yeah, he is a person that he sees everything and knows everything, and all he wants is in your heart. Well, listen, it's like if God doesn't want anybody to fight, but if you have to, you've got that. You're allowed that. You're allowed that. Hold on, plenty of it. Hold on tightly, let go lightly. Yeah. Yeah, yin and yang, could address that with. This dualistic world we live in, good, bad. I attended church service last Sunday, haven't been there in years, but my eyes filled with tears at the start of the service. You're in that environment, that's why they'll have the congregation, it's like many minds make light work, get things done quicker. Let not the ways interrupt the unways. Yeah, that's right. That's why I like doing videos here on my own, because I just talk and I get to read your comments and there's no interruptions. A lot of people seem to find it hard in this day and age to let people finish what they're saying before they ask a fucking question. And I haven't a clue what came over me. Well, it's the React movie. Isn't it? You're in that environment. You're filled with everybody that's filled with that energy. They're all there with that intent in their mind. They're there to praise God. Yeah, that's how it is. See, listen, there's many's a night I've done videos out in the back garden and she broke down and sort of trying to reference some verses in the Bible and just hit you. Had to sit down. Many's a morning I've woke up, I've been sitting and working, I've had to just try and breathe, talking to people on the phone, doing Wim Hof breathing. Just trying to hold it in. It's very overwhelming. Some of the things when you're thought in that thought process, seeking within, seeking ye shall find. There's John 14:7. Jesus is the light, truth, and the way. 3:16. Forgive his only begotten Son, for all those that believe have everlasting life. Yeah. You'll be walking over the ashes of the non-meek. Who are the meek? The meek are the strong of mind, those who have studied and get their strength from God's word. That's me, do I? Terrible memory. Yeah, no, it's just sort of funny because I can't put it up there. The word Ori, O-R-I, means light. Let's see how everyone says it. Is it mem, M-E-M, comes from mem, which is water, mem, and Ori put together means mem moi. So it sort of makes sense. Listen, we live in an inverted world, carry on, everything's back to front, so that makes sense because Ori means memory, but Dory had no memory. All right? Yeah. So it's just another brain going like that, I'm carried away. Right, I've got this video, right? Wee second. This is a wee video. It's going to show you basically. I drifted on a bit. This will put it in a wee minute 50-second video. It's going to show you basically what this boy was talking about. I didn't even get to talk about him. Jeffrey Hinton. No, it wasn't him. It was the other boy. The godfather of AI. Ours one. Jeffrey Hinton, often called the godfather of AI, is a pioneer in neural networks. Neural's your brain. That's your neural network in your brain. Networks and deep learning, whose work has profoundly shaped modern artificial intelligence and raised critical concerns about AI safety and societal impacts. Right? The guy's a psychopath. Creating stuff for turn you all into zombies. They're all running about like wee Oliver. Please, sir, can I have some more? New booster. Not you watching the video. You know what I'm talking about. And so background and achievements. Geoffrey Everest Hinton, born 6 December 1947 in London, England. You see, England. Is a British-Canadian computer scientist and cognitive psychologist renowned for his foundational work in artificial neural networks. Artificial ones, so they're making up fake brain neural networks. These are the ones that they would try and put the pods on to try and connect them with your neural network. So when you think it, you get to move these skeleton body parts that they're making for you, and get them soon, 2030. Just go into the store, Repo store, you get those parts in there. I'm just looking at it. Right, so this guy, Geoffrey Everest Hinton, he is university professor emeritus at the University of Toronto and formerly worked with Google Brain from 2013 to 2023. Google Brain, another one you can check out for it. But Hinton co-authored a landmark 1986 paper popularizing the backpropagation algorithm for training multi-layer neural networks and contributed to the development of Boltzmann machines, deep belief networks, capsule networks, and AlexNet, which revolutionized computer vision. Now, all that stuff's in there. I'm not going to click on them. I'm just giving you a basic background of who these people are and what they're doing and why we're here. And is Elon Musk stealing their ideas and is he going to finish off their agenda? Film is all with a mark. Right, so I'm going to get back to this. So that there was your man, Geoffrey Hinton, the godfather of AI. So you can have a wee check and a wee Google at that. Wherever you are, wherever you're looking for him, he's profoundly shaped modern artificial intelligence. So ChatGPT, I can't even remember, don't fucking use it, I can't remember any of it. That's chat one, and then there's the Grok. It's basically the brainchild behind that there. And if you remember when Trump got back into the office, he stood up and says, what was it, fucking $400-500 million contract he's setting up with this AI organization. Now, it's not this guy. The guy he was starting with looked like an Asian guy. Memory serves me right. Maybe not. Maybe false shit. The Holy Spirit moves. Yeah, listen, it floats back and forth. Here's what I used to say to people. It's like us carry on. You get that idea in your head and sits and thinks that's a good idea. That's a good idea. And then you make a cup of tea, you drink your cup of tea, and it just fizzes out of head. Me business idea. 2 weeks later, fucking your mom down the streets, we've on it. He's out doing that business idea that you had. So it floats about. We all come up with these ideas, and not many of us harness them and put them to the best of our capabilities. With any kind of business idea that people have, and many people do many different things, but to me, you have to do what you love. I love doing gardens, the landscaping that I do through the summer, but it's a bit colder and I don't like it. I don't like it. The house is always warm. It's all upside down, back to front, inside out. Killing on. Funny this just pop up in my feed. Recently I heard about AI controlled nanobots that are somehow attached to some form of living organism. That may just be a few cells, but is it a cyborg? Well, this is what we're talking about. Old school, we're talking about the nanobots. They have the technology to make these nanobots. What I was saying, like I said, just to make it more believable. A fly. Everybody likes to say, I'd like to be a fly on the wall. There's so many fucking geek fucking sitting, he's just sat fly on the wall, he's just sat and designed this wee nanobot. Now explain the boys that come up there, Drexler. He was the first guy to come up with it. The other boy, Jeffrey Hendon, he sort of followed along, but they made him out to be some kind of nut job, saying it's not real. After Eric Drexler basically come up with the idea, brought it out there, and this is a possibility. Then, like anything, to shut it down, and then they give it to you in drip feeds. It's like the iPhone. Everybody's running about there. What is the new iPhone 20 fucking 4 XYZ PD? That was probably the first one that they made. Just reverse engineered it right back and says, right, we'll give them the basic one, no cameras, no facial recognition. We'll just breed it in them, and we'll feed them technology like it's something that the thirst and hunger for, instead of thirst and hunger for fucking righteousness. Everybody's thirst and hunger for technology. That's my phone. My phone costs £1,100. Yeah, it's just robotic fucking syndrome. Already our cyborgs. Already doing this with programmed to do. Like I say, my phone's fucking years old. I stay away from it. There is no guilt at the foot of the cross. His blood is so powerful and cleanses you. No shame, no hurt, just freedom. He sets you free. Well, carry on. Even at the crucifixion, he was showing mercy to the Judah. Judah, listen, forgive them, Father, because they know not what they do. I think they didn't know what they were doing. I think they knew rightly what they were doing, but that was the way out. When I first heard of this AI, there's sort of a robot starring Will Smith. He has the film on YouTube. And to be honest, AI, especially AI robot squares. Yep. Well, you look at those robots in that movie, and what's the robots that they're actually showing us now? They've got them made up and they're putting on this white armor on them, and they actually replicate the movie iRobot. iRobot, that was it. Yeah, they actually replicate it, and this is where we're going. In that movie iRobot, when it came out over a decade ago, whatever, that's program it into your head. They accept it. It's just like they're trying to make people accept Peter fucking Philly on it. They're talking about it. There's some new organizations come out there that wants perpetrators of fucking sexual offences to have rights, and they're actually already starting to give them fucking rights. A rapist has a right to see its child. There's a lot of conjecture can come up with that. There's a lot of no fucking chance. Keep them away. Jake, the orc army, as I call them. I don't even want to say it because somebody got pulled for saying fucking orcs. Yeah, orcs. No way they manufactured all the orcs in Lord of the Rings and come attacking all the weird folk. No, definitely not a quarry. No quarry. Someone commented on one of my other videos asking me if I'm a McCrory. Nah, definitely not. I love art and used to paint. You see when you do what you love, Carol, I was saying, or see when you're doing what you love, it helps you connect. It just helps you tune in. Jesus was walking about tuned into a cloud most of his days, all 33 years of his life. You know, he was walking about tuned into a Wi-Fi, and he's just, look, this is the way it was. No, God locked down. He's looking at mankind. He's like, these are all a bunch of idiots. You don't have a clue what these are out down there. He's like, that's the way they'll just program in the old sun here. Yeah, you know what I mean. No, don't be bouncing out the front street, man. You know, listen, all these things have to come and then pass. You know, so we're already get, like I said, Skynet's not getting switched on to 2028, so we're already there. We just have to start making all our own EMP devices, electromagnetic pulse device. What do? They just shut electrics down. Pulse, this pulse wave technology, it's been about for a long time too. You see these, for all you sky watchers and chemtrail watchers, you see someone just, it's pulse technology. They're flying these planes with pulse technology, compressing air, and a fuel tank of fuel, that says. Believe it or not. Listen, folks, the whole world that you see in front of you, it's fake. I've been saying it for 10 years. It's fake. I don't believe it. I can see it, and I'm struggling to believe it. You know what I mean? I'm seeing PSNI on them about, and I'm struggling to believe that they're real PSNI now. When north, no, not going any further. You know, but you know what I'm saying. When you walk about fucking looking at McDonald's drivers, and they don't look like McDonald's drivers. You can put it that way. It's a McDonald's driver look like. We should look like a fucking clown, if you ask me. You should have these clowns pulling up to people's doors with a big fucking red wig and a clown's nose on, sitting McDonald's. You know, get some of that human meat into you. Some of that human meat into you. You know it, Jake. You know it's true, aren't you? Try not to get into funny mode. Right, this wee video, right? So let's get back to basics. So old school, you're still, Pete, you're still there. Right? Jake is one. Maybe you've seen it, maybe not, but it's a wee movie I'm going to let you see. So I'll have to share the screen here. Give us a wee second. It's only a 2-minute video, so bear with us here because knowledge is power, folks. Knowledge is power. You know, if you know what it is they're trying to put in this with their whole, it's just say nanotechnology. Where's the fuck video? What do you call it? There we go. Yeah, so it's a wee video in the dark. Secrets of Henry Sean. Let me get up here first so you can see it. Okay. Can you see this screen all right? Let me know. You can see it. Can you see me? Nobody's talking. Yeah, still on. Where is it? I'll put the movie in the video anyway, so you can see it. Don't know about it. 3 years old.
Ian Pearson's vision of the future is a world where powerful computers could be made at incredibly low cost. And he believes that if you could make computers cheaply, you could afford to have them everywhere. Even woven into the shirt on your back.
I mean, supposing 20, 30 years from now I'm wearing a really smart shirt and I have an accident.
He doesn't look like a monster now.
That shirt knows I've had an accident because it can measure the G-forces. It might even measure that I'm bleeding. The shirt could tell the ambulance in great detail while they're on the way exactly what's wrong with me, so they've got the equipment ready for when they arrive. It might save my life.
More powerful computers would allow us to crack age-old problems that have defeated science, like understanding the extreme complexities of our climate. Molecular computers would give us more accurate forecasting of even the most complicated weather systems.
Right.
If we got molecular computing giving us phenomenal processing
Okay.
power to handle all of that, we'd be able to do far more accurate forecasting, maybe give people more advanced warning of storms and hurricanes, and we'd save people's lives.
You take far off the rabbit hole for you, team.
But it could go even further. Molecular transistors may one day usher in a world of nanotechnology.
Fancy a beer?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. What that mom was saying there, he was talking about these nanobots. You could have them on your shirt, you know, it sort of blends with your skin. So if something was to happen, they were in an accident, you'd have blood pouring out, that these sensors would be able to tell the hospital what was wrong with you before they got there, so they had everything set and going for you. This is how they're going to sell all this technology to you, folks. I've never had use of limbs, a chance to use. See if anybody take them on. Yeah, well, I mean, the limb that they take will probably have the chip on it anyway. And sure, they're all get linked up into the neurotransmitters. Remember, they were going to connect these things into the brain. Yeah, technology can be used for good, Jake, 100%. But do you really trust these people that's making it all to use it for that? Nah, definitely not. Remember, they want the population down to, is it 500,000, 500,000? And then they'll have the robots do the rest of the work. This is what I'm saying, folks. I mean, it's down to us, the people. As we always saying, it's about numbers, getting out in the streets, protesting, and all that. That's what it's all about, politicians. And you need to understand our constitutional Bill of Rights. Yeah, it's the only way you can collapse a fucking government. You know, your constitution, and even the Magna Carta in 1215. Yeah, well, the med beds, what do you call that movie? Fucking Troopers, Starship Troopers. Any remember Starship Troopers? Remember the med bed they had in that? Your mom could fucking pierce with the alien's fangs like fucking 33 times and put in this med bed. Miraculously recovered, all no scars, no nothing. Yeah, it's been planting those seeds for years. What else is it in? It's going out. Lost it. It's gone. Med bed, nanotech. I will, yeah. Oh, I have to introduce it to us one way or another, Pete. You have to introduce all this technology stuff to us. You know, the Anunnaki technology, the Anu technology for our new world order. It is when in the past 6 months are all these Hollywood stars doing advertising, adverts would be pennies to these millionaires. Yeah, if it's something that they need pushed, they'll use the millionaires to do it. They'll use the celebrities to do it. You know, there's a new up and coming there. He's committed some heinous fucking act and he gets into a brotherhood. And then what they'll do is, right, we'll just say design this new garment or a new trainer and it's your name. You know, it's like Baker's Gutties kind of thing. And then next thing you got Davey Beckham running about with Baker's Gutties on. Next thing it becomes a whole marketing sale. It's how to get their own up the scale in the pyramid scheme, because all of us are sitting at the bottom of the pyramid scheme in their fate fucking currency that they're running. I actually mentioned it earlier on in this one, and we're sort of talking about how do you shut it all down. It's like in the movie They Live, or a wrestler runs up top floor of the media building, cuts down their satellite dish, and it reveals all the lizards on the TV screens. That's the one you're talking about, this one? James, I was talking about a movie, mate. 1988, when I mentioned the lizards, if that's what you're wondering about. Yeah, and this one, that's the one. But sure, the whole metaphor between the fight between the white guy and the black guy, because the black guy didn't have a fucking, he couldn't see nothing, and all the white guy wanted to do was put the glasses on. He says, look, look. And everyone's like, no, no, and then whatever happened, he fell. He put the glasses on the next time he sees them. And that's where it kicks off. But that was a documentary, that wasn't a movie. It was a documentary to say. Allegedly. So we'll be able to tell I have NGM purposes. It's the Micro app. I won't download it. Carry on. I mean, it's a catch-22, isn't it? You know, is the lesser evil? What's the lesser evil? What's more beneficial? You know, everybody's going to go for that life extension of things. You know, everybody's going to go for it. Fuck, I'll probably go for it myself. It came to that point because my time's just about surviving as long as I can now from the boys, making sure that they're up and on their feet and know how to operate. Yeah, well, the reason people can't use their brains, carry on, is truthfully gospel, because they watch TV. They watch TV. And then when they're not watching TV, they're slaving themselves to a system that fucking wipe them all out on. Oh, if the vaccine doesn't. Yeah. We'll have to remember, folks, too. I mean, this is still all based off the World Economic Forum. You know, these are the ones that's trying to push us, the globalists, you know, the transatlantic trade partnerships, you know, EU, who, you know, they're all involved, and they're all one, to me, they're one consolidated organization. They all just give themselves different names, but they're all consolidated under the one empire. See, NHS wanting you to download an app where you can get all your medical information. That's how they draw you in, but don't, because it's like the first introduction to digital. Yeah, that's your biodigital ID that they're blocking. Now, listen, it's like now these robots already run about hospitals like fucking Daleks. Yeah, giving people their medical records. It's a stepping stone. You know, that app is on your phone. Carry on. So again, it'll just be down to what you put in it. But the other biodigital ID comes when they put the microchip into these. Right, it's 12:30. 12:30. You know. See, we dump on them all. Go and empty the kitchen. Our brains are being proven off for you. Smartphones, TVs. Well, it's like us. You know, there's a phone, right? So you're sitting, and you'll notice it when you're in your messenger box. When you're sitting messaging, if you're on WhatsApp, it's the same. You type a message, you send it, right? And then it comes up. You get 2 blue ticks right away, so that lets you know the other person's sitting, looking. And then what you'll get is the wee speech bubble. The speech bubble comes up, so you're sitting like that there, and you're waiting. And remember, you had a pager. You just sent the message in your pager, and you set your pager down and went and done something for half an hour by the time you got the reply. You know, those kind of pagers. But yeah, that's the idea. I don't want you sitting constantly like that there in your phone. If you're not on your phone, you're on the TV. You know, but it's like I say, right, I've had an iPhone for over 10 years, right? And they call them smartphones. They're smartphones, yeah, but they're not as smart as you. You know. The power of your mind is far more superior than these phones. These phones may have a bigger field, electromagnetic field that comes from them. That's why they tell you keep your phone away, 3 foot away. Because they interact with your brain. It's like you wake up looking for your phone. You think it's you that's waking up and you're not. No, it's just the connection with your phone keeps you locked in. Hello, 404. Yeah, so that's, yeah. So I wouldn't thread about that there, carry on. You think now what it is, I screenshot that, so I made about it. Yeah, so let me see if I missed any comments here. Letters. This was waiting to check in. The way a page is now found. Yeah, it is. It is alright. You have robots to remove endo tissues. Well, that's the. You have robots, but it's the nano robots. What we're talking about 404, and we've just joined them, but we're talking about transhumanism and nanobots. You know, the creator of this technology and where it's going. And we're just talking about how they're going to sell it to us, how will they get it into their bodies. Well, they've done it deceitfully with the jobs. That's sort of it. What else have we got? I was looking at something earlier on. Genetic divergence. I was talking about genetic divergence is the process in which two or more populations of an ancestral species accumulate independent genetic changes through time, often leading to reproductive isolation and continued mutations. And so it was normal, but it was nothing to do with nanobots. It was just someone was looking up the definition of something. Nah, carry on, listen, it's all good. You can keep a combo going. Yeah, but that's what we're sort of talking about, you know, these nanobots that they're going to be using. And it's like, oh, well, but this wee nanobot will just put it inside. There's a movie. What do you call it? Matthew Broderick acted in a bit about outer space. And you ever remember that? You may not be old enough, some of you, but I'm older than dirt. Feel it anyway. Outer space, Matthew Broderick, they shrunk, they made this here like we capsule kind of chip. And they shrunk it with Matthew Broderick in it and then jacked him into the body, and he was able to float around all the body in different blood cells. It was a movie anyway. Again, it's just putting it in the head. That's what the nanobots are. Outer space. I think it was in the 80s. Made. In my times, like, how did you find out about all this carry on our people? Met up with a couple of people over a decade ago, and we all thought the same way. We all knew that this reality wasn't right. We all knew that there was a veil over our eyes of everything we were seeing, and you know, we just diverged into our topics and work together. We help each other figure things out. You know, the Robeauté, Bob, he was at it 5 years before me, and then even longer. And then I came along because he fucking driving wrong. He spots me standing film on a chemtrail one day, you know, and then we met up over online. So yeah, that's the company keep around you is what you'll know, what you'll learn in this world, in this lifetime. Seek and you shall find. Jake, listen, mercy, I show mercy. You know, all the friends, the people I socialised with, partied with, bang the gear, weekend parties and stuff. But years ago, and as a teenager, you know, all over the years, you would have had all that there. And I argued back, I kept baiting. But this time round, you know, kept baiting during COVID, but this time round, I'm not baiting. But it's not, again, Jake, it's not about who has the last laugh. It's about, you know, he's going to get on the fucking page here and actually save this country. Europe's burning. When I say burning, I mean actually just, it is literally burning. It's been well invaded. Poland seems to be the only country around there that seems to be taking a true stand against the invaders. Germany's gone. Germany's gone. I mean, what did they do? Some boy killed somebody. Some fucking migrant killed somebody, and they're trying to say no mens rea. What was mens rea? Mens rea was what that, remember that fucking councillor boy Ricky Jones had done that there. He got off of his case because he just pleaded not guilty. And man said I didn't mean to do it. It's not like it was being serious. There was no intent there. There was actually going out and start cutting throats, and jury just found, nah, he wasn't going to do it, so we'll let him go. Let poor Lucy. He was a mere solicitor, and solicitor says plead guilty. They're telling you they're tyrannical. They're tyrannical. Even the ones that are trying to prosecute me wouldn't tell me their names. Still don't know who they are. It's like I'm up against two of these fucking witches of Eastwick. What? Maybe again we have doctors and engineers won't be needed in the NHS when the robots do surgeries. Well, the robots are coming after the shitstorm, so. And I listen, I'm not being fear-mongering, you all know me, I've just been trying to work my ways around to get everyone prepared. In a way, we're at war with us, or this government's at war with us, folks. We just haven't told you yet, nobody can see it, but they're at war with us. And then they're just the foot soldiers for the generals. Plug hole. It's all by design. 404. It's all by design. No? All by design. Western civilizations to do away with it. Clergy plan. I talk about it, but we're on this fucking Yahoo tube. So. Outer space going to inner space. Yeah. Inner space, was it inner space or outer space, Carolyn? You've got me thinking now, is it outer space or inner space? Inner space. Let's see what's well. You're right. Start them early, so start them early. As long as he understands, get him into some self-defense classes. If there's anything you want to get him into, he's a wee bit young, I suppose, for it now. Say maybe 15, maybe squeezes. He's a big lad, so we maybe get in 14, 15. Get him into Krav Maga. Carrying a Krav Maga level. Hurting one of our children. You go back over the years, the millions that they've slaughtered and killed, and the foundlings hospitals. Back in the 17th century, 1600s, the foundlings hospitals where they had the infirmary, they just brought all the babies down to die. Any babies that were lucky enough to survive get sent out to an Irish foster parent. And it was that Irish foster parent's job to raise that child and teach us how to be a good Protestant. I shit you not. That's how far back these tyrannical money changers go. Jesus kicked them out of Tampa, and they're still here today. Pulling everybody's strings. Just looking up at the time there, folks, right? About an hour and a half I've sat and talked enough stuff here. And I think it's screamed at just today, causing anxiety. With my internet, I was told you really can't make it up. Depends what you're watching on, Pete. There's a great jiu-jitsu club for juniors down in Bangor, Stevie. If your wee lad's interested. Like I teach my wee men just the wee basics of stuff growing up. But what's the name of it? I'll mention it here in my video 404. So anyone that's watching this video, even after it uploads, there's a wee jiu-jitsu club down in Bangor. I'm asking you the name because the comments don't upload with the video. It takes 4 days or something. Yeah, big softy now, boy. Good days, mummy. Well, here's the thing. So, you may think he's a big softy, but if someone's trying to harm you, You think EH is going to be a softie? Because I don't. I know I wasn't when I seen somebody lifting their hand on my man. Yeah, I don't think so. Instincts, inner space, was it? Very good. Outer space, there is no. Yeah, vacuum. Who's a replant here? Yep, everybody's the same, lady. Well, you go to bed, put it on the airplane mode. You can do that with your phone. There's that old saying, arm's length, well away. Because what you don't realize is this thing has an electromagnetic field, okay? I mean, it has this fucking bubble goes around it, stretches out, it just can't stretch. Way. And so is your brain. Your brain has this, you don't actually know it, but what's happening is, I was talking about genetic divergence earlier on, transhumanism, but in such a way your brains are connecting to your phone. And you're all wondering why you're sitting thinking about, I like getting a wee pair of trainers, in a shop. You're sitting looking at a pair of trainers in the shop. Next thing you go home, you flick your phone up, bang, trainers pop up on your phone. And you only thought it. You were only thinking about it. So the transhumanism thing, that's what your smartphones are for. They're actually tapping in to your bio-digital identity. And they've already stole the minds of the masses, haven't they? Smartphone. Use it for your own benefit. You too, Bob and Bill. Yeah, I know it is getting late. I'm going to pop off here. I only stayed on for another 10 minutes because 4:04 chopped in it. There's that wee jiu-jitsu club. This country is imploding from the inside. They have trodden the blood of Christ on their foot, turned aside onto lies and idols and self-gratification, material people. 6 gives salary and stirring of the spirit is required. Yeah, needs a mix up. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying there, James. Set aside the lies and the idols of the self-gratification. The materialistic world. Everyone's living this materialistic world, and they're all caught up in their own wee bubbles that, their life's so easy, it's so great. Like I say, that bubble trap, they all get caught in their bubble that they can't see past the materials in front of them. They can't seek, they can't find, they can't search for God because they think their life's too happy. Sometimes the devil will keep these people happy in their wee bubble trap all their lives so they don't question anything. And it's like I say, I was raised in church all the days. My dad raised me in church, but we stopped going when I was about 15. So I've always believed in God. I always knew right from wrong. I was always had morals. But over the years, as you go by, we're talking about the material world, people get trapped in their bubble trap and they don't search it. They're just happy in their wee bubble. And by the time they start searching for Heavenly Father, God, Yahweh, Yeshua, sorry, it's too late. By the time that door in their bubble trap shuts on them, it's too late because they loved the material world for so long, all their lives, they've lived a rough life, work a couple of quid, but I don't come about and spunk all my money on clothes, fancy shoes. I don't need the best of gear. I drive about in a scrapper transit. It gets the job done. So getting caught up in this here material world where everything has to be the best, it's wrong. And that's been programmed into us as well. From a child, it's all about competing. They keep us competing with each other. Competing. And I don't like competing with people. I like people to do their own thing and I do mine. Not a problem, carry on, 100%. Kelly said hello. Stirring. Yeah, it's time to get the rods out, James. And for everybody to get the rods out and start stirring it up. We live in a world full of distractions. Yeah, no problem, Jake. Yeah, it is. Immigration's a distraction. Digital ID is a distraction because everybody's taking their eye off the agenda. You're sort of caught up in the media world. But anyway, good night, folks. I'm gonna go get the head down at some point. After I finish researching, right, I keep forgetting how to turn these off. Yeah, it's at 404 to all that there. Everybody wants the best this, the best that there. And folks, again, running about, haven't cut my hair in years. And that can't be in a Turkish barbers. Right, anyway. Good night. I'll switch this off. You too, wee Rick. Good night, folks. Good night, all. Night, carry on. See you. So, and to the other 20 of yous who aren't talking, good night.